Hello and welcome to this month's little wild Hearthstone video on another of my old school little favorite style of decks, even if it might not be the greatest, which is Pure Paladin. Pure Paladin comes from cards, or the idea from Pure Paladin comes from cards like High Exarch, Yrel, or however you pronounce your name, that basically require that you have only, in this case, Paladin cards. It says no neutral cards, but come on, it's Paladin cards. And if you're able to meet that particular requirement, you get certain bonuses. In this case, the old Exarch here gets just basically a pile of good stats. Cards like Lightforged Zealot, you get a free True Silver. Things sort of like that. We are also running, as a result, we try to run as many just kind of generically good cards as we can. We also have some of the Libram package and cards like your Aldor Attendants and, you know, their respective Librams that are particularly good, running Wisdom and Hope for reference, as those are usually the best ones to get. And besides that, we do just try and run some just sort of generically good cards, like your Lightforged Cariel, again, generically good. I actually think Murloc Knight's kind of useful for helping to develop a board that goes wide, though this card's not like an all-star by any means. We also run cards like Alliance Bannerman for some card draw, and also cards like the Grimestreet Informant to give us some access, admittedly very limited access, to cards outside of our class. Of course, sometimes, in the case of the Grimestreet, the Paladin card might be the best, but we need to try and get some access to other cards, as while Paladin is a strong class, it's not the strongest. We also run a Bronze Explorer for much the same reason, additional ways to sort of get cards outside of our initial Paladin access that we have, and with my already shoddy collection in Hearthstone. With that basic deck tech out of the way, we'll go on now to our several games for today's video. And game number one with our Pure Paladin. Going against some sort of rogue. Most rogues I run into at, you know, gold, which is pretty comfortable for me, is usually some mill variety, so we'll just go ahead and try and hit the ground running. I like Cariel as a card, so I don't want to lose it. If it is against some sort of milly Murloc, or the milly kind of balance and make you burn all your cards kind of deck, I'm just going to try and be more aggressive than it and try and run it down, even though it has a lot of defensive tools in its arsenal. Oop. There we go. See what our opponent does, if they happen to be here. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Coin from our opponent into... Is it like a burgle rogue? Alright, alright. I ain't too bad with that. We'll go ahead and just play the Aldor Attendant since it's more mana efficient, i.e. 1 mana for a 1/3, or is better than a 2 mana for a 1/1. Okay, just go with Druid Minion. I'm sorry. If your hand has no minions, keep all 3. So they have no minions in that hand. Alright. A little weird. We can't really do much planning around basically a Burgle Rogue, which is almost exclusively relying on RNG. So we're just going to try and be aggressive and apply consistent pressure. Maybe a Spectral Cutlass, I think? Maybe? I assume. I could be wrong. But I believe Spectral Cutlass is the lifesteal weapon that gets durability when you play cards not from your class. Go ahead and trade away our little expendable boy here. Keep on applying some pressure. Augmented Alec. It was Spectral Cutlass, so that was a pretty good call. So we have that going for us. We'll go ahead and play the Aldor Truthseeker pretty much regardless. A taunt to protect our board. It does mean we don't get access to the Inspire from the Knight, but it's better to have it alive to use it this turn. Assuming they don't have some sort of removal. Hi, Carmel. Why didn't move that back? Hang on.
Power takes memory.
There you go. Druid Loti. Alright, 1/6 taunt. Freezing my stuff. Not gonna lie, not fantastic. Lightforged Zealot is pretty good, honestly. Go ahead and hero power, and I'll see if we can get Murloc out of this. A war leader will do it. Go ahead and trade in our smaller things with our war druid here. Boink him with the knight. He probably leaves the knight next turn. But the knight also sort of works as a card that sort of demands answers. Kind of like that. Oh god, it's honorable kill too. Wait, do you? Yeah, oh right, that's right. It wasn't even honorable killing where I thought it'd be. Oh no, well that's not good. Okay, so if the honorable kill thing triggers when it dies, it still goes. Okay, I was wondering how that mechanic worked. We'll go ahead and just play the Lightforged Cariel after getting rid of their Wingmaster here. Clears our board, gets us some life. I'm pretty happy to see where this game goes. I don't even care if I particularly win or lose. We do have the high Exarch here. If they play a particularly big thing. Okay, I mean that's, again, not fantastic, but it'll do. Probably gonna hero power first. Head crack, alright. Not bad, not bad. There we go, everything's still recording. Yeah, we'll still go with the plan of, well, yeah. That's fine. We'll go with the Informant first, see if we can find some sort of removal or something to help our board here. That's actually kind of good. We're going to keep that. But we're not going to use it right now. So I think we'll do you. Take our damage and heal what we can back from the Catacomb Guard. Guard in a pure Paladin list works as about as good of removal for creatures as you're going to get, in which you don't have to jump through too many hoops. That's not fantastic. You can Dragonbane though, so there is that. Do we... That's $1 million question. Do they attack with their hero already? No. Correctly leaves alone. Yeah, we'll go ahead and see what happens here. The Osma took out the Elec, but really either is a perfectly acceptable outcome. I didn't see where that went. The Explorer, okay. We'll play the Murgurgle. Why not? We can't really kill that this turn, so we're just gonna go face.
Remember the fallen.
They're also, in theory, gaining 5 life this turn, so we do need to kind of apply some pressure here. They could kill the Dragonbane, which would suck royally, but again, we're just looking to try and apply some pressure. As I see that Cutlass kind of getting out of hand. That's not awful. Does he give away his last Cutlass charge? Because if so, I will just Exarch into their Talon here. Okay, that's... Does that count? Okay, that doesn't count. I was wondering how that worked. Alright. Let's see. Alright, we got a plan here. We'll trade one Divine Shield for another. Do we want to... We'll go ahead and Exarch first to give the buff to something in our hand. Talon into their face. I will hit their particular Elefante boy. Hopefully we'll get some more damage. It'd be nice. Next turn we have things to do regardless.
You cannot.
Oh, that's not
The
good.
shadow.
That's particularly not good. We're in some real trouble, but I like their list. It is very spicy. Let's see. See if we can get off the informant. That's not great. But that's not awful, actually. So I think we can Murloc Knight. We can Blessing a Queen, something in the hand. And then we can then Death Rattle up our whole board here. Might not be enough. We could be in some real trouble here. Since with the Death Knight and the like various stealth or like evasion-y cards, they can actually, dear God, dude, we gain a lot of health. Wow, they're just running a sprint. All right, not a card you see every day. Only got 2 mana left though. Maybe with coins it's different. Does manage to kill the Exarch, which is not awesome. But I can get a mech out of this, so it's not like... Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We'll go ahead and do this first, see what we get. That's not awful. We can do something with that. I lulled that. I fucked that up really bad. Yep, that's my bad. I really kind of shit the bed on this one. Oh, you have 1 3, you have 1 3. So
Remember the fallen.
don't have lethal with the Consecration that we have in our back pocket, so we'll go ahead and keep it. As we could have potentially other uses. Let's see what ow. I'm not gonna lie, like shit like this I really don't like. When it's just like this padded playroom, take forever to kill you shit. Like it's whatever, I'm arguably doing the same. Doesn't make it suck less. Not gonna lie, that's kind of annoying, but I guess we don't really have an option. See what the informant gives us, if anything good. It's not really that good. It's actually pretty bad. I don't think we have... I mean, I guess... We'll do the Leaper, because there's technically synergy in hand. Let's see. We do you. See what kind of good dragon we can get. Not that great. But the Feywing's actually alright. We'll go ahead and hero power.
I'm running out of time. Remember the fallen.
Again, they're probably going to vanish or cloak of shadows or something. Okay, it's only during your turn, so they can't like sit on the reflection. I do have to wonder how our opponent's going to kill us here.
Oh, I'm just bothering them.
Okay, that's alright. Does he have it? He does. Alright, alright.
In time, all things are possible.
I mean, I get it. Why wouldn't you play it? It's a card to play. So I can't really hold it too much against you.
You have made an unwise decision.
That's the legendary I was thinking about in the last video from Hearthstone. Okay, I was wondering. I believe we'll go ahead and we can do this a little bit good here, right? Yeah, that works too. We'll take it. I enjoyed that game though. One spicy brew against another. We'll go on to game number 2 now. Game number 2 with our little pure Paladin list. It's fine. I mean, maybe the Libram's a little bit expensive, so chuck that. Just looking for things to do early on, more so than anything. If we need to be controlled, we have tools, but we can be more just aggressive in applying our game plan with the other half of our hand. Probably some battle cry, shudder walkie, goofy shit. as is often the case. Could be wrong. And to be entirely honest, in that particular case, I'd be happy to be wrong. Do hope our opponent's here, but the last one took a little time. Oh, that's not a good sign. I'll give him another turn of not being here. Yeah, got him. Luckily, we didn't have too much to do. Opponent here. If you're not, then I can't use this game.
You will pay for that, cur.
Alright, there we go. We've all been there. Life gets in the way sometimes. You gotta, you know, take a phone call.
Really? It's
Bio breaks. I get it. We'll go ahead and coin out the Bannerman. Nice to just get our hands sort of rolling here. Of course, a hero power from our opponent doesn't really tell us anything of any particular note. Although the lack of quest is something. Is it overload? Is it like a generic overlord? Overload. Shaman, or is it like, what's the word? Is it like burn that runs those like unlocked mana crystal cards?
Have you no respect for the dead?
We're not getting a lot of lifesteal out of this, but we're just happy to remove that unbound elemental while we can. Next turn, we can always Lightforged Zealot if nothing else. Let's see, we can also Aldor Truthseeker and Libram of Wisdom on the same turn. The following turn does require what our opponent, or it does need us to know what our opponent's doing. Yeah, we'll take that. It's not too bad. Original plan of the Zealot. Go ahead and trade the Dominion, get rid of their particular little healing totem. Next turn probably will be the Truthseeker into a Wisdom on something. Admittedly, does require something to survive, so there's that little problem. He is running Serpent Shrine Portal, so maybe this is some sort of burn list. If so, we might want to Libram the Zealot, as it's actually out of range.
I'm going to throw the book at you.
We might actually just keep this weapon charge and ignore Cookie for a turn. You just go face. Save the weapon strike if we need to remove something. We do have a cookie, which is nice. To get a little stirring rod. Which, as a Horde player, was denied to me for so many years until I think it was Cataclysm that let us, as Horde players, reliably do dead mines. You mean you could technically do it on Horde, but it would have been a whole issue. Take it as a person who used to.
I feel bad for you. Facing
Oh
me.
God. Oh God. Okay, that's what you chose. All right, whatever. But my original point about Cookie, taking it from a person who, at the mid-level 20s before his time in Classic WoW, before the Burning Crusade Classic came out, ended, would do world PvP at like level 25 with a hunter in Alliance-held territory. I assure you that is some of the most fun I've ever had. We'll go ahead and Murloc Knight, just develop a board here. Deny them any board that we can manage. To be honest, the Raider's kind of a break. But again, it's just more damage, so it's not bad per se. See what our opponent does. Might be able to get out a win here. They might have some sort of removal spell. Be it Earthquake or some form of that, or Lightning Storm or what have you. Some sort of sweeper would be nice. It would honestly do a lot to really mess up my board. opponent is hovering. Come on. Ah. Shit. That's remarkably bad. Okay. Really? That seems bold. Okay. Right? I think that's alright. We will go ahead and Peacekeeper that down.
Job done.
Maybe next turn we might Lightforged Cariel to push some damage. But if he wants to take another little bit of damage. Why that order? I mean, alright, that's annoying, but alright. Now we literally have to Cariel. It's basically the only thing we can do with our now frozen board.
Our hardships only strengthen our resilience.
Yes, we'll just go ahead and hit face here. So you can bonk the Truthseeker. You can hit for 12 with something, but I don't know if that saves you. Because you are still netting 2 damage if you bonk this. Transform your weapon to one that costs 1. Okay, he did have some sort of sweep. Alright. You got 6 damage. You probably hit them. Oh, okay, that's how he's doing it. Right. Is there any way that I could, in theory, maybe possibly squeeze out some damage? We'll go ahead and Truthseeker. It's not great, is it? We'll go ahead and Peacekeeper you down. Probably gonna Aldor Attendant because it's basically free. Buff up. I mean, it might be a mistake to put all of our Librams on one, but they haven't shown to have any sort of devolve. Okay, they're already at 10 mana. That doesn't really hurt if that breaks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if that's... fucking shit. Hey! Alright, that worked pretty well. I think that's game.
You can really hold your
Pardon,
own.
like a healing spell or something, which is admittedly possible. Right? 5. Okay, that actually kind of... I mean, it doesn't, but... That's as good as they could hope to draw. See what they bond. Next turn, I'm going to Catacomb Guard immediately, just so we don't screw this up. Right? That's an interesting card. I just don't know if it's good. Anywho, Guard showing off the beautifulness, or the beauty, of the Guard as a removal spell. Honestly, a pretty good game. I think we'll do one last game. This video has been, relatively short. So we'll go now to game number 3. What question? Yeah. Anywho, on to game number 3. In game number 3, with our little pure Paladin.
My blade burns
I mean,
with holy fire.
your average bear demon hunter that I run into is usually aggressive. So I think we can kind of keep this whole hand. The Spikeridged Steed is actually pretty good at putting up a nice thick wall for our opponent. We can get a 1-drop? Hell yeah.
I cannot wait to read these.
See what our opponent does. I mean, there goes to be a death rattle thing. Okay, I mean, Sigil Warrior doesn't really tell us anything other than they like cards and he doesn't. We'll probably Bronze Explorer next turn, see what we get. See what our opponent does. Come on. Chaos Strike. Alright, alright. Don't have any clear idea as of yet what our opponent is, but that's totally fine. We do have a Lightforged next turn. Go ahead and Bronze Explorer. We probably don't need that, honestly. 2 1-cost spells for me to play. Yeah, we'll get a Spellkin. Why not? Also fills out our card. Deathwing would be a choice if we felt like we were particularly behind on board, as, you know, the panic button that it is. But we're in a pretty good spot. Okay, I no longer know what you are.
One shot.
Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, mate, I'm cool going against another, you know, spicy brew. Go ahead and use our little removal spells as and where we can. Probably Demon Claw down the Murgurgle. Probably. Unless he has some other particularly good play in mind.
You cannot break the bro.
Okay, so it's alright.
One shot, one kill.
Alright. That's again a little weird, but whatever. Your call, I guess. Yeah. So we can do. How do we do that? I don't think it really matters that much. We're arguing over a very minor amount of detail.
Having no respect for the dead.
Yeah, we're basically at the same point where we were. I think we're going to start turning this on to a more aggressive turn. Or we're going to turn the corner into the more aggressive deck. Let me rephrase that pile of words. I don't know if our opponent has a really coherent game plan. And if they're trying to apply pressure, I think we've pretty soundly turned the corner. Getting rid of the highest health thing on board. Always good play. Okay, so there is a battlefield. What am I fighting against? I don't understand anymore. We'll probably go ahead and strap the Steed on the Catacomb Guard. Yeah, Lightforged Crusader, some draw next turn. We can always set the Battle Fiend back down to 1 with our Peacekeeper here. Okay, so it's a budget thing. Okay, okay, that's fine. We'll do you. Maybe we'll go for the Grimestreet and see what we can find. Megadillo is not really that useful. But I can use Bloodclaw, actually. That's actually not that useless. Think we'll Peacekeeper down and a Bloodclaw. We don't mind the lost life. The loss of life. Oh, right. The static effect from the raid leader means it can't go down to 1. Or it does, but then the raid leader brings it back up to 1. That's a new fun on my part. I totally forgot how the mechanics of that work. Ah! A meme lord. I respect another who respects the craft. While I applaud our opponent's commitment to trying to get that North Dome Room quest done. I mean, there are probably better ways to make that card work, and hey, it was probably a budget brew too. And even then, it was still fun. Thank you so much for watching. We'll do at least another one of these videos in another month. I might replace, or I might make it a 2 videos a month Hearthstone and 2 videos a month of Historic. And then I'll sprinkle in, you know, the occasional Brawl video. So, in the near future, there might be an update to how the videos change. Again, if you want me to say, in this case, split my schedule between Hearthstone and Wild and Historic and Magic, because you happen to like one more than the other, tell me down below. Or if you'd like the pace that we, or the, you know, the pacing that Wild videos are at now, where it's like once a month, then tell me. This is one of those where you, the viewer at home, can have a very, what's the word? very tangible impact on the future of content. Because I do like both games still, and I'm not going to stop playing either right now, as they're both in a pretty good spot. And with all that out of the way, besides commenting down below what you might want the content to look like in the future, remember to like the video if you liked it, and sub if you'd like to see my weird grab bag of content and more of it. Thank you all, stay safe, and remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.